Hello everyone and welcome to the CarAlarm podcast. My name is Alex.
And I'm Gaven.
And today we're reviewing SmackDown Live from August 8th, 2017.
I didn't see this show.
Once again, not surprising at all.
Nah.
Again, there's a lot of fan noise in the background due to Mississippi being
Hot?
very hot currently. And also my in-home air conditioner broken. So we have to survive somehow, and the only way is with a little bit of noise. But let's get right into the show. So John Cena opens the show to cut a promo where he basically just puts over Shinsuke Nakamura for a while. I know you can imagine it. Just John Cena just lost clean. What's he say the next night?
He's just gonna scream about Shinsuke.
Yeah, but like, if you can think of one sentence that he would say, what would it be?
I don't know.
Well, let me kind of give it to you. I lost fair and square. Shinsuke's the man. He won clean. He's a great competitor. America's good. And after that, that's basically all he said. Baron Corbin comes out, and Corbin threatens John Cena, just kind of, not necessarily for a match, he just kind of says, I'll beat you down. And then Cena's like, okay, let's fight. But Corbin says he doesn't need to fight John Cena. He doesn't need to beat John Cena because he's got the Money in the Bank briefcase. He's going to be WWE World Champion.
He's not wrong there.
No, he's not. But Daniel Bryan comes out and says that there'll be a match at SummerSlam between the two. Because he says, Corbin, you clearly aren't ready to wrestle tonight. So we'll have a match at SummerSlam 2 weeks away. Because you won't be ready next week. Because you can't just change into some clothes.
Nope.
You can't do that, Baron.
I'm looking forward to that match, you know?
Yeah, it'll probably be good. I'm sure.
It's gonna be pretty good.
Though the more I think of it, the more I'm like, okay, well, it kind of sucks that they don't really have anything for Cena. Because this came on, like, we're 2 weeks away from SummerSlam. This rivalry just started.
Yeah.
You would think, and I'm sure the original plan for Cena was Jinder, but it was changed along the way. But you would think that something else would at least have been backup. I guess this is backup.
Yeah, like the writers couldn't think of anything else. So like, Baron Corbin, you get a match.
Yeah, I would be okay. I would love for Owens versus Cena. Now, if things were a little bit different, say AJ Styles or Nakamura was current world champion, you could have AJ versus Shinsuke for the world championship at SummerSlam, and you could have Owens versus Cena for the U.S. title. Kind of a rematch to way back when Owens first came to the main roster, fighting for the U.S. title.
Yeah.
Owens could be still the face of America, and he could beat John Cena clean, and it would take the place of Shinsuke's win. And you could do Cena versus Shinsuke somewhere down the line at any pay-per-view, or on SmackDown Live. It would be fine.
Or at WrestleMania.
No, I think if Shinsuke should face anyone at Mania, I know it would already happen at SummerSlam, per what I just said. It should still be AJ Styles. Their rematch. Best 2 out of 3. WrestleMania, what are we, 35 now? Next? 35?
I think so, yeah.
WrestleMania 35, Shinsuke vs. AJ Part 2. WrestleMania 36, Shinsuke vs. AJ Part 3. Once in a lifetime, twice in a lifetime. Okay, you want to move
Just
on?
like John Cena and The Rock.
Yeah. You want to move on?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay. The next segment was a tag team match between the Usos versus Ty Dillinger and Sami Zayn. Now, last week, if you remember, I said that I hope Usos and Dillinger and Zayn don't become a tag team.
Yeah.
Like on the regular because they didn't know what to do with them.
Looks like that's what's happening.
Looks like that's exactly what's happening. But it's not the worst thing in the world. There was a video from a house show about, I think, 2 or 3 days ago, where Sami Zayn had a match against Jinder Mahal, I think, and the Singh brothers and Jinder Mahal started beating up on Sami Zayn after the match. And Kevin Owens came out to make the save, and they kind of wiped out all 3 guys out of the ring. Do you think, and I know sometimes house shows don't have implications on anything, and they just maybe do stuff on house shows to test the heat it would get or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that Zayne and Owens could become a tag team again?
I think there's a chance of it.
I'd be cool with it, but here's the thing. You have Kevin Owens, who tried to kill Sami Zayn the night after Sami Zayn had the biggest night of his life, kayfabe, by winning the NXT Championship. He tried to break Sami Zayn's back. How do you come back from that? Because that's a lot harder than Seth Rollins or Ambrose forgiving Rollins for the whole Shield thing. All he did was hit him with a couple chairs and go and join Triple H. He didn't cost them any championships. He didn't try to kill them. He just wanted to leave and do something on his own. And yeah, it was ill-minded.
He did it in the wrong way.
Yeah, but he didn't try to murder him.
I don't know. I don't know how you would come back from that.
So that would be the only thing, and that would be
gift
interesting.
basket.
If you a gift basket,
Yeah.
just have nice soap and some good candy and maybe a few good fruits.
And a teddy bear.
Yeah, and a real nice bottle of shampoo. You get Sami Zayn right back on track.
And you gotta get some beard lotion too.
Beard lotion. They can share it. They both have beards. Even Owens is a lot thinner, but. So Ty Dillinger ends up tapping to the Tequila Sunrise by one of the Usos. I'm not sure. I think
The
Jimmy.
Tequila Sunrise?
Yeah, that's the move where they wrap their leg around their arm. The opponent's on their stomach, and they wrap their leg around their arm, and then they grab the top tip of their foot and shin, and they go back with it. That's a Tequila Sunrise. I only know the name because I always see it on 2K17, and also they said it last night.
I like the name of that move.
Yeah, me too. I'm not sure why it's called that. Should be interesting to find out. The Usos, after the match, call out the New Day, and they kind of just say, New Day, if only you could be here right now. Too bad we whooped you, sons. But New Day's music hits, and the 3-time champs, their little biggie says,
Clap for your
yeah.
3-time tag champs and feel the power.
Yeah, exactly. But only Big E appears on stage, and he's kind of just dancing a little bit. And behind the Usos appear Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, and they just jump the Usos. And Big E runs down to the ring, and then Xavier Woods rolls out, grabs some steel chairs, throws them in the ring. Kofi and Woods, even though he throws one steel chair and it slides all the way to the other side on the outside.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Kofi has to jump out and get it. But they were going to try to kill the Usos with steel chairs, but the Usos ended up rolling out of the ring before they got to do that. Because remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago now, the Usos jumped the New Day.
Yeah.
After their championship win. But naturally, Roman Reigns' logic, you try to kill him. Even though it wasn't as bad, it was just steel chairs. But it was nice to see that kind of just, I don't care, I'm going to hurt you really bad because you tried to hurt me really bad from the New Day. Even though they're face, which is always kind of been a thing I like. They're never really completely face or heel, I think.
They're just that in-between-ish.
Yeah, they're definitely those tweeners. Because if you remember a while back, they were heel. They were clearly supposed to be heel. And they acted heel. And then they turned face, kind of. And they were clearly supposed to be face, but they still acted heelish. You remember Woods cheating all the time to keep the titles, even though they were face. I always like that kind of stuff. Because they're just doing whatever they need to keep the titles. Whether they get cheered or booed or not shouldn't be the biggest factor. At least not for them.
And you know what? They're pretty awesome.
They are.
Yeah.
All three of them are really good wrestlers.
I'm starting to like them more now.
Yeah, you used to not like the New Day.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean after everyone didn't like the New Day. Like after there was a while when they first started, no one liked them, and then everyone got on board. But you were like, nah, no thanks. But that's good. They're very good. All three of them are really good wrestlers. You can agree with that.
Yeah, they
are. Okay, so we'll move on. The next segment is still one of my favorites, even though tonight's episode I feel was a little less extravagant and mysterious as the past few. Fashion Peaks with the Fashion Police, Tyler Breeze and Fandango. So Tyler Breeze, it kind of opens to Tyler Breeze to the office bulletin board with like the missing picture of Fandango, and there's a I think it said like, "Do you know who this man is?" or something. Like, you know, the wanted posters kind of like,
Yeah.
"Can you find this guy?" It was a face, but they had like scribbled white over it, and then drew like 2 dots and a line for the face, because that's who they're looking for. It looks like. That was a nice little touch. But Tyler Breeze is sitting down at the office, talking with the Ascension, Connor and Victor, and he's kind of telling them about his dream, how Connor was pouring maple syrup on a block of wood, and Victor was giving Fandango a rose that was pricking him in the fingers. But the Ascension is only interested in the free pie that apparently Tyler Breeze offered him, so they just take the pie and leave. They don't really talk to him very much. They don't care at all. Breeze looks into the mirror. There's a big old mirror behind him, because, you know, why not? And he's just asking, "Where is Dango? Where is Dango?" And behind him appears Fandango with a tie around his head, and he's kind of just in a trance. He's just standing there. So Tyler Breeze has to knock him out of the trance. So he gives him some coffee. Dango drinks it and says, "Wow, that's damn good coffee." And then he's out of the trance. Fandango's hilarious.
Yes,
Fandango and Tyler Breeze, they're just great together.
They're amazing, and they're hilarious, and
Yeah.
I love them.
Me too. Tyler Breeze asks Fandango where he's been, what happened to him. And Fandango says he was abducted by aliens. And the reason he stayed was because of anal probes. But he corrected himself.
Because of anal probes?
Yeah. He corrected himself and said, "I mean, because of wardrobes." So there you go. We didn't expect that kind of joke on WWE. But it was unexpected, and it was funny. It definitely got me. And he said he could have left anytime he wanted. He says he gained the power to see into the future. Tyler Breeze didn't believe him and told him to prove it. So he said the next person who walks through that door will be the person who killed the horse Tully, the little stuffed animal horse. And the next person to walk through the door was Arn Anderson. And Tyler Breeze asked him if he's the one that killed the horse Tully, and he said yes, because they should have named it Arn Anderson rather than Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson's former tag team partner from, I think, the 80s. And that was it. That was the end of it. Well, Tyler Breeze and Fandango said that they have a lot more to investigate, so it's not over yet, but that was it. It was good, of course, because it always is, but I think it was the least interesting episode so far, because it didn't really add anything, and it was kind of a bit of a meh ending, you know. I know it wasn't an ending to the whole thing, but to at least part of it, just for the Arn Tully joke. And I didn't even know the horse's name was Tully till this week, so
I ain't either.
there you go. I don't think it worked that well. But it was good. It's always good. Let them do whatever they want. It's great.
Yeah, they're the greatest tag team around right now.
Uh-huh. I still would like a feud between the New Day and Breezango.
Me too. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. Alright, so the next segment is a women's match. Charlotte versus Lana. Can you guess if this match was a squash match or not?
It was.
It wasn't.
Wasn't?
Almost wasn't.
It
almost wasn't. Lana ended up tapping out to the figure 8. It kind of was. Lana got some offense, but not really. You know, it was mostly just Charlotte. Lana only got in offense, I guess, to do moves. She didn't really... No one obviously believed she would win, but it wasn't as bad of a squash match as Naomi, which I was surprised and happy to see. And that was really the end of that. Not too much women's stuff tonight. They have another match later on, but not too much. Neither of the matches are long, really. The next segment was, I think, probably the best segment of the night. Maybe Fashion Peaks had it tied. Shane McMahon comes out to introduce both AJ and Owens for the rules of engagement of their SummerSlam special guest referee match. Kevin Owens kind of starts off by talking about how Shane McMahon is not a good referee to have. And he shows footage of Shane screwing over Stone Cold Steve Austin in, I think it was Survivor Series 1998 against Mankind, where Austin went for the cover, and the ref was down. So Shane slid in, counted 1, 2, and then just wouldn't count 3. He was kind of like hovering around. And then AJ kind of talked about how he doesn't really think Shane should be a good referee either. So he just said, why don't they get rid of Shane McMahon, and they just have this U.S. Championship match tonight. Kevin Owens, AJ Styles. But AJ Styles said he doesn't want to have a U.S. Championship match in Canada. So, and he is Canadian too. The crowd was so loud during this entire segment. It was constantly dual chanting AJ Styles and Kevin Owens. But Kevin Owens constantly would just dog on Canada. He would just say it's like the worst place on earth, and he didn't want to be here. And also he brought up the Montreal Screwjob. I think they were in Toronto. Brought up the Montreal Screwjob, and he said that he doesn't want Shane McMahon to do the same thing that he did, that the other McMahon did to another legendary Canadian in Bret Hart. And he said that even though Bret Hart deserved that, he doesn't think that another, like a legendary Canadian like himself, should get screwed over. And that got a lot of heat from the crowd. The crowd booed really loud. So that was nice. Kevin Owens can even get booed in his own home country.
He's good at being bad.
Yes, he is.
He's good at getting hated without getting killed.
The Miz is the best at it. I want to point that out.
Yeah.
Even though
Not very good face.
No, not at all. He's very good at getting people to hate him. Shane McMahon says, though, because Kevin Owens turned down the opportunity at a match, that he will be impartial. He'll be a completely impartial referee unless they give him a reason not to be. So it was kind of a bit of a passive-aggressive threat to Owens, mostly Owens and AJ Styles. Seemingly mostly Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens and AJ Styles start yelling at each other, and Owens gets a cheap shot punch in on AJ Styles. AJ Styles turns around, goes for a Pele kick, but Owens hides behind Shane McMahon, and he Pele's Shane right in the face. Kevin Owens rolls out and just starts laughing while he's walking all the way down the ramp. And AJ Styles just kind of looks at Shane McMahon, and Shane gets up, and Styles leaves, and Shane just kind of stands around looking. Really good segment. I liked it a lot.
I think the general consensus is Shane's not a good ref.
Yeah, apparently. I don't think I think that's the only match he's ever special guest refereed in, though. That they showed. I could be wrong, but I didn't do any research, so I don't know. But I feel like they would have showed more. They could have showed a montage if he had been in more.
Yeah.
The next segment is Carmella versus Naomi. I don't think the title was on the line. But they said, oh no, that's right, because Carmella's women's Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Because JBL was constantly talking about how Carmella could walk out with the championship. I guess I didn't put it together that he meant cash in because they were in a match. But I have some quarrels with this match. The match wasn't too long. Naomi was on the top rope. She was gonna go for, I guess, a normal splash. When James Ellsworth runs out from the crowd, pushes Naomi off the rope. The ref was distracted by Carmella. Pushes Naomi off the rope. Carmella hits a super kick and pins Naomi for the win. Now, and then they just leave. If you're women's Money in the Bank, you just pinned the world champion for the women's championship. Why would you not pick her up, super kick her again, cash in the briefcase, super kick her again, and then just win the title?
Maybe you don't want to win it now.
Why?
Well,
James Ellsworth is back to help you defend it. And you can get DQ'd any night.
Who's Naomi fighting at SummerSlam for the title?
Natalya.
Maybe she just doesn't want to fight Natalya.
She has Ellsworth. If it's a triple threat, Ellsworth can do whatever he wants, no DQ. If it's not a triple threat, she can get disqualified, keep that championship.
Yeah.
So why would you not? I mean, Naomi was out cold. She didn't get up like a couple seconds later. She was out for a while. Carmella could have cashed in right there, won the championship, no problem. You had a knocked out Naomi by the hands of Carmella, And you had James Ellsworth to just make sure she won that match, even if something went wrong. So,
I don't know.
I just think that didn't make much sense, especially from like a heel standpoint, where you know that they'll do anything to win that title. And they won it really bad. So, 'cause I feel like if it was Baron Corbin, he would have done that.
Yeah.
I just mean that because of his character, not any kind of gender-wise. But I think Carmella should have and would have as well, though. But that's the only problem I have with it. It was a fine match. It wasn't bad, of course. You got Naomi in there. Not going to be too bad. And Carmella's good, too. The main event of the night was Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton. A rematch. For like, what, the third or fourth time? Somewhere around there. Orton ended up winning clean. No Singh brothers. The match was a good 15 or so minutes. It was a good match. It was. Mahal sporting some bright orange trunks and boots this time.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, and knee pads. The match was good though, like I said. It was Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal. You know, we've seen them have good matches before. Punjabi Prison an exception to that.
Yeah.
That was not good. Orton ends up winning with an RKO after he reverses Mahal's, I don't know what it's called, his finisher.
The Colossus.
Colossus? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I believe so.
He reverses that into an RKO and then walks away with the clean win. Over the world champion. What do you think of that? Rusev was not even on the show tonight.
I don't know. Could just be a fluke. Could just be, you know.
But if he beat him clean, doesn't that, by WWE logic, make him #1 contender? Or at least alongside Shinsuke?
I think so, yeah.
So wouldn't it be a triple threat at SummerSlam? But yet, Orton has a match with Rusev. Fatal 4-way. Both shows get a Fatal 4-way. Even though Fatal 4-way for SmackDown would be way better if it was like Shinsuke, AJ, Cena, and Nakamura. Oh, I mean...
Jinder Mahal.
No, not Jinder Mahal.
Well, he's the champ.
No, he wouldn't be in this scenario.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens would be the better one. In my scenario, Jinder Mahal would not be the WWE champion. Not anymore. He would have won it. He wouldn't be it anymore. That would be the AJ. That'd just already be Shinsuke. No. I think Shinsuke would do best winning at SummerSlam. He's gonna win the title at SummerSlam. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
That's gonna be great too. Shinsuke coming in, winning the world title. Also, Cena called him the King of Strong Style, which they haven't said in a while since his NXT. They haven't been using that. They've been calling him the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura.
I don't understand that.
Me neither. I don't know why they wouldn't just call him the King of Strong Style. Also, during the Corbin and Cena segment, a fan had a sign that called Corbin a dumpster fire. And then Cena started using that, and the whole arena just started chanting dumpster fire at Baron Corbin.
Dumpster
So that was
fire?
cool. Yeah.
I don't get it.
You don't have to. You're just calling him a dumpster on fire. That's bad enough. You call someone a dumpster, that's not a good thing. You call someone fire, oh well, I guess that's a good thing actually. Maybe he cancels out. Maybe he's just nothing. Maybe that's what you're calling him. You're nothing. That's a good insult actually. Let's see. Anything else to talk about SmackDown wise? We already talked about Zayne and Owens. Okay. You want to close out?
Yeah.
Okay. You can follow us on Twitter at the CarAlarm Podcast.
You can follow us on Facebook. You type in the little search bar at Signing CarAlarm. You'll find our page with all our videos on it.
We are CarAlarm.
Peace out.
Thanks for watching or listening.